Hello and welcome. Now, it's not every day you meet a world champion, but you're about to meet one right now because I'm delighted to be joined by the former captain of the South African rugby side that won the World Cup all those years ago, Francois Pienaar. Welcome to you. And welcome also to Stefan Scheiber, the CEO of Buhler. Let's talk about this promise that you made to Nelson Mandela. After winning the World Cup, you both said to each other, wow, thank you for the difference you've made. Then he made you promise to do something at the end of your career. What was it?
Well, it was actually the following year, because after the World Cup, and the words we said to each other, when he handed me the trophy, he said to me, Francois, thank you for what you've done for the country. And I said, thank you, Mr. Mandela, for what you've done for the country. And there's articles written about this. So how did it happen that we said almost exactly the same words to one another? It was just amazing. So fast forward, I didn't get dropped. First time in my life, I got dropped from the team. A new coach came in and we just didn't work. And I agree, a coach must have his captain. So I then wanted to go into business, but got an opportunity to go and play rugby overseas. And my coach advised me to do it. So in the papers, Francois Pienaar is leaving South Africa. Madiba got it wrong. He thought that I'm immigrating. Right. But it wasn't the fact. So he invited Marine and I for lunch on the 12th of December, 1996. And I explained to him I'm going to go overseas for a year, maybe two, and then come back. And I think he hoped that I would go into politics, but I didn't. And he said to me, please, when you come back, you will make a difference. So when we came back from the UK, we started the Make a Difference Leadership Foundation because of Madiba. It's Mandela-esque. It's values-based leadership, and that's 23 years ago.
It's amazing. Would you have made a good politician, by the way?
No, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe when I'm looking at the politicians these days, yes, I think I could make a bit of a difference.
I've spoken to you before, and at various stages you've had high hopes and lower hopes, depending on who's the politician in charge of South Africa. But through it all, through all those changes, this Make a Difference Foundation has done what it says on the tin. It's made a difference. Tell me exactly what it's set up to do.
Well, basically it's education focused, young leaders. There has to be financial inequality. It's people that are financially disadvantaged and have got promise. Then we send people out to test. These youngsters that apply, every year there's a bunch that apply, and quite a number now. In the beginning, because it wasn't well known, there was few, and now there's organizations that apply to the foundation. In the beginning, I was part of the panel that would interview, and I would say yes to everyone, because how do you say no? So they then go through a barrage of tests, and once they've completed that, then when they get the scholarship, when they get the call, that they will never have to worry in their lives again about their education.
And what difference does it make to the families when one of, as you call them, your kids, is accepted onto the programme? How did they react to family? Because they're handing you over the most precious asset, aren't they?
It's always tearful. When the phone call is made, it is, it's a dream that has come true. And when these youngsters then one day fulfill their potential, get a degree, we also support them in getting employment, because especially in our country, unemployment is really high. Yeah. And it's very difficult to get a job, to write a CV, to go for interviews, to dress well. Because you must remember, our mad learners come from really impoverished backgrounds. It changes their families forever. It changes their families and their lives forever, and also they become role models. There's definitely a role model to look up to.
Yeah. The impact of a leader, and even the leader doesn't realise the impact 2 years later, Stefan. It's a wonderful story. Why are Buhler, why are you so closely connected with Francois? Because almost every time I meet you, Francois is there somewhere.
Well, Francois is a hero for South Africans, for many people across the globe. And for me personally, because at the time he became the world champion and you changed South Africa and the world, I was there. I was a spectator. I had no tickets for the final game because the world wanted to be there. So we were glued to the TV and actually, having our beers and cheering. And you know what? We were wearing the Springbok shirt. Everybody was running after the Springbok shirt. I still have one from the time there. And it's just this amazing power of not the leaders, yes, the event, the community, the feeling, the emotions, but you could say it's the Springboks manifestation of the power of sports, right? And I believe sports, potentially also something like what we do here, this community building in the networking days with 1,000 leaders from 90 nations all over the country. I mean, I would never compare to Francois and what he achieved there. But what I try to say is that sports is a wonderful method or approach to bring people together. And even beyond cultural barriers, because now we have a common ground, we have a common team, we are cheering. And I believe this feeling for community, potentially in a world which is drifting apart as it is now, and it was definitely the case when you started in '95, is, I feel, here at the event, more important than ever. I believe, again, Buhler is a little bit like the nucleus, the platform which we provide, but the real emotion is to be together in a community trying to find solutions to pave a good future for businesses.
Yeah. One of the things that Francois mentioned was, of course, this promise he gave to Mandela to come back and make a difference. And that, to me, is one of the aspects of leadership which you have to firmly believe in, that a leader's word is their bond. Is that something that your kids who are coming through the Make a Difference Foundation learn, that you have to be true to yourself, but true to your word?
Absolutely. And you've got to give back. That's one of the key aspects. Because you've received, there's a responsibility on you to change your community. The school that you're in, the university that you go to, if you see something that's wrong, you must stand up. And if you're in work, one day you've got to make that a better place, and it's values-based. And it's so great to actually experience that. One of our first that went through Harvard is now on the board of the Make a Difference Leadership Foundation. He's got his own startup. It's actually more than a startup now. He's raised capital overseas, $6 million. He's employing graduates from the MAD program, and he's looking at the alumni. So it's making that circle bigger, multiply, and that takes time. But they have to put their hand up. That's what we ask them to do. You know, you have an opportunity, you must put your hand up and you must make a difference.
Can I ask you both what different skill set, if any, the leaders of tomorrow, the young people coming through now, will have that your generation didn't need or didn't have, or the world wasn't giving you guidance towards? What do you think?
Well, I think this element of trust has become even more important. And I can tell you where I'm coming from. I mean, trust in governments, trust in societies is fading. Trust in, for instance, also consumers to, for instance, food products produced by our industry is fading. And there is good reasons why people are losing this trust. I would actually also say that, you know, media and the change in the global setup of media, not generating enough funds anymore to finance quality journalism, is adding to the problem that people lose trust because into institutions, into governments, into companies as well. And I believe this is a major difference to 20 or 30 years ago, where I think communication and media played a different role at the time, and I believe so. We need to be very mindful of that, and we need to be also mindful of anything which is against building trust and against institutions. Also, wrong facts. Right, is just not right. Today we had presentations from scientists from all over the world, and you could actually see that, yeah, there are challenges on the planet, but these days we have technologies and you can actually tackle things and find solutions. But of course you have to trust the facts, you have to trust science, such that, you know, you put the solutions into the problem. And you see, it's so much more difficult to manage solutions and do something good than to advocate negative things and right, be against anything and everything. And I think leaders show that. Leaders show solutions, courage, expose themselves, and And that is potentially a little bit a different framework today than 30 years ago.
Would you agree, Francois?
Like a good flanker, he stole the ball. I totally agree that this world is a scary place at the moment. It's if you're not with me, you're against me. And that's what worries me. We can't have a conversation because this is what the leaders of today, some of them are doing. If you're not with me, you are against me, and in a very aggressive way. Where in the past you could have had a debate, learn from one another, and find a common ground. So the leaders of tomorrow, they would need the leadership of the leaders with integrity today. Because there are some really, really good leaders that have integrity, that can have good debates, that can try and find a solution. And even if they don't find a solution, they can live with that. So leaders for me deal in hope. But that hope is a hope of trust. You know, that you can trust people, that you can work with people. And culturally, the world is a totally different place. But culturally, the world just wants the best for their people. They want four things. Yes. They want education, they want safety and security, they want health, and they want work. And that's what the leaders of tomorrow need to focus on, is to give communities what they need.
And what they need is not being provided to the degree that's necessary in your country by the politicians. How do the politicians view the Make a Difference Foundation? Are you a nuisance? Or do they steal your thunder every time you have a success?
I don't tell them about it.
Seriously?
Yeah, no, we don't
Why?
tell them about it. Because we're doing it because we want to do it. It's been going for 23 years. You know, old has-been sportsman made a promise, and I'm keeping that promise. And it's just the reason why we're doing it is not to be congratulated. It's because we deeply care about giving youngsters an opportunity that they would never have had. But that's the job of the government, really. We should not be doing that. The government should be doing that. And that makes me angry. South Africa, we've got a government of national unity. It gives me a bit more hope. The ANC is really... there's good people in the ANC and there's really bad people in the ANC. And if you look where South Africa is now in terms of unemployment, in terms of lack of growth and all of that, you have to say the ANC has not done a great job. So the government of national unity has given me a bit more hope, because now there's conversations around the table that's happening, and debates are happening, and there's an agenda, and you have to deliver at a certain time. We've seen now with our budget was postponed. I don't know if you followed that, but the budget was postponed because the government of national unity didn't agree. And I saw that as real strong democracy. Let's have that debate. Let's not get cross with one another. Let's find a common ground. And for me, that's good leadership. So, if that government of national unity in South Africa grows, there's young, smart politicians that are coming through that are there to serve. That's what you do as a politician. You serve, you elect to serve. And I guess all over the world, we're finding very few that's now serving the people.
Yeah. Stakeholders are very important, whether it's in big business or whether it's in a foundation. Who are the stakeholders that are the most important to you?
Well, if we don't have supporters and funders, we can't do what we do. So we invest the money that we raise in a proper, prudent way. And we can showcase that the investment that has been given to us, entrusted to the foundation, is delivering on its promise. So that, number one, without any of the funding, we couldn't scale. And we've now in 23 years, we've put 300 kids through school and university. We've got 265 on the program at the moment, and the dream is 1,000. That was always my dream, is 1,000. When we started the foundation, we thought it was going to be 10. And then we're going to do well, it's going to be 10, 15, and people have seen what we've done. But it takes time, and it takes time to become sustainable. So that, first of all, you've got to raise the funds and make sure that the investment is prudent. And secondly is to ensure that you protect and guide and nurture and help these young leaders, because we believe in second chances and sometimes even third. And I consider myself, when I grew up, sometimes I didn't know what I wanted to do. We got two boys and they battled with their thinking and where to go. So it's a backup mom and dad, and making sure that we give them all the support that we can give them to succeed. Those would be the two main points for me.
And I guess in business, there's parallels there. Your stakeholders are the owners of the company, or if it's a public company, the shareholders. But then the other stakeholders, the important ones, are your colleagues, the leaders of tomorrow, the ones that you're nurturing.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely, Paul. And I think that's important for Buhler. You know, we have, for instance, at any point in time, 540 apprentices, which we, bring through a 4 years program internationally and here in Switzerland, about half. And that has been a proven fantastic start of a career point into management functions across Buhler. Number one, here, for instance, we have currently close to 800 people in Switzerland, where we have 2,500 employees who have done an apprentice. One thing.
That's very important to you.
Absolutely.
Since I met you, that's
that is really cool, because you shape the spirit, and no apprentices without a good meister, a teacher. So that only works if you have older, experienced teachers for these functions and trades. To pass on their know-how to apprentices. So this is one thing. And the other thing, of course, the stakeholders are our customers. 2/3 of our customers are family companies. They think in generations. They make 1 or 2 big investment decisions in one generation, right? And we want to make sure that one decision they take is a good one, with our technology, with our servicing, and that's then shaping the future of their journey, of their successful business, hopefully. So I believe that is very important too.
I can see why the two of you are such good friends, and why I always see you together. You'll be the twins as far as I'm concerned for the rest.
Huge respect for what he's done, the culture, the baton, and the baton that he'll pass on now. Becoming chairman, and he's, for me, I'm not just saying it because I'm sitting next to you, we have become friends, is the culture. The culture that you've nurtured and enhanced and so forth is visible through the company. So
thank you very much. Thank you.
So before
culture which I learned in South Africa,
right,
from heroes of mine.
We'll pause now while the two of them hug each other, and I say, Francois Pienaar and Stefan, thank you so much. Pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.